Now, this is the Kudila television channel being broadcast on the internet under the banner of Baby Angel Geronimo Manifesto Editions and the Baby Angel Skoji and her family, 1978 to 2024 onwards. This edition is being followed by an edition that was mostly without sound because of some oversight on my part, because I was holding the device in the wrong way while I was speaking, and I didn't check that the mic wasn't on. And this is the editions, therefore, that is mainly giving a sound version, audio version of what I essentially said. I'll list the subjects that I covered in the previous edition, which is as follows. The role of Ken Livingstone Livingston when he staged a coup against the Labour Party group leader on the GLC, Andrew McIntosh, who McIntosh had done the main work to make the Labour Party on the GLC at the 1981 GLC election defeat the Conservatives, fronted by Horace Cutler. Then I said that overall I disrupted about 300 events over 4 or 5 years of Ken Livingstone Livingston fronting the Greater London Council. Then I said that the mainly white Fleet Street journalists observed my interventions and disruptions, but they remained silent about Ken Livingstone Livingston's corruption, abuse of power, and his bribing of the man called Arif Ali, whom I gave the name Rifraf Ali, and Livingstone's bribing of a thing called C.B. Patel, a Gujarati who arrived in the United Kingdom after the Indian community was ousted by East African states in the late 60s and early 1970s. Then I talked about the behavior of the former owner of the Harrods department store in London, Al Fayed, Muhammad Al Fayed, as featured as the main front page splash in the Mail on Sunday. The Mail on Sunday, dated the 8th of December 2024, contains the item attributing most of it to Omar Fayed, allegedly the youngest son of the now deceased rapist Muhammad Fayed. The two reporters whose bylines appear with the piece treat Omar Fayed quite generously, and they don't criticize his role, his stance at all. They credit him for arriving on his motorbike at the office of the Mail on Sunday to talk to them. Essentially, what they're saying in that piece is that Omar Fayed, recalls Muhammad Fayed criticizing him for having only one girlfriend And then he says that he took hormone replacement drugs or whatever medicine, which partly is explained or is part explanation of why he had such a high drive, sexual drive, a libido. Then they say that he buys newspapers and stuffs the W.H. Smith carrier bag with newspapers. And that interest in reading newspapers he inherited from his father. He says that he wishes that he faced justice before he died. And there is a comparison with Nazi war criminal, let's say, aged 90, who is found to be hiding in the Algarve in Portugal. And he says that criminal would not have been spared accountability only because he was age 90. So Fayad should have himself been tried when he approached age 90. The piece also says that Fayad raped and sexually assaulted 111 women, perhaps more, and so on. So the piece is not as revelatory and original as the headline might suggest, but it's only a point of reference. Now, the role of the media in the United Kingdom, the so called Fourth Estate, as part of the fourth organ of the state, the role of the media in the United Kingdom is not rigorous in holding those in political and government power to rigorous account. And I say that the role of the judiciary, the British judiciary, is similarly corrupt and it is lax. Now, as the various parts of the disclosures about Al Fayed, Muhammad Fayed, show, the role of the British police is as corrupt as the role of the judiciary, as the role of the members of parliament, as the role of the various aspects of government. Going back to Ken Livingstone, who was fronting the Greater London Council post the coup against Andrew McIntosh in 1981, Ken Livingstone set about bribing a man called Rifraf Ali who came from the Caribbean. And Rifraf Ali craftily targeted Ken Livingstone fronted GLC. So he dedicated huge amounts of space in the craftily timed publication he called the Caribbean Times. And in the targeted contents, Rifraf Ali made a point that Ken Livingstone was the most revolutionary leader of any organization that he had come across. So the more Rifraf Ali praised Ken Livingstone, the more money Rifraf Ali got from Ken Livingstone. So in addition to the Caribbean Times, he also extended his corruption by publishing another bogus title called the Asian Times, which has absolutely nothing to do with the Asian community, but to do with the word Asian being attached to an outlet that was also full of praise of Ken Livingstone Livingstone. I then said in the previous edition that when Andrew Gilligan, a former Today reporter on the BBC radio, investigated Ken Livingstone's second term as the mayor at the expense of London, Gilligan disclosed a series of corrupt activities going on inside the GLC, inside the office of the mayor, the administration of the mayor at the expense of London. There was a difference between the frontage of the Greater London Council by Ken Livingstone from 1981 to 1986, and his becoming mayor at the expense of London in 2000, year 2000, and he stayed there for 2 terms, 2000 to 2008. Now, the defeat at Boris Johnson's hand by Ken Livingstone would have been impossible without the journalism of Andrew Gilligan against Ken Livingstone. The disclosures that Andrew Gilligan actually published included the disclosure about the corrupt behavior by Lee Jasper, a mixed race so called anti racist who was actually nothing of the kind. So, there are other instances of criminality in local government in the United Kingdom, especially through the office of the executive mayor that has been foisted on just under 20 boroughs across England. So we shall be talking about that and also updating on the corruption in Tower Hamlets, in Newham, in Hackney, in Lewisham, in Croydon, by the regime fronted by an executive mayor.